We have two goals. First, we want to explain what's driving the continued decreases in loss costs. And two, we want to provide a view into how those trends are actually making their way into rate making. Essentially, we want to go behind the scenes with you all and give you some of the items that we focus on when we're doing rate making. Let's start with that very first goal. For that, we'll go back to the view of loss cost changes that Donna shared earlier.
Well, that's right, Nadege. I think we should just get right into it. Tell everybody here, what are the main reasons we're seeing continued loss cost decreases year after year?
Two main reasons. One, you all probably could guess it, frequency. Frequency continues to decline. Two, payroll. Payroll being such a unique exposure base for the workers' comp line continues to increase, putting upward pressure on premium. So both of these items are actually putting downward pressure on loss costs. I know someone is asking, well, what about severity? Yes, while severity has been increasing, it has largely tracked with wage growth. So when you put those dynamics together, decline in frequency, grow in payroll, severity keeping track with wage growth, you get the loss cost decreases that we saw on the previous slide.
Exactly, Nadege. Let's get this party started with how NCCI measures frequency for rate-making purposes. Frequency can be measured in different ways. Generally, it's measured as claim counts per an exposure base. At NCCI, we prefer to look at lost time claim counts. These are the number of claims with wage replacement benefits. For exposure, we use NCCI premium, or pure premium, at the NCCI level. When we put these two pieces together, we see a clear decreasing frequency pattern, like the one shown here. Here we're looking at frequency to total premium without adjusting for wages. From this perspective, the long-term average is around -7%, which is in line with the most recent year, 2025, at -6.5%.
I mean, and we're throwing a lot of numbers at you before lunch, but I do want to call attention to why this latest drop looks a little bit different than the 2% decrease that we showed earlier in the state of the line. And that's because here we're using payroll without any adjustment for wage changes over time, and that was something that Donna's figures reflected. By not adjusting for wages here, we're able to see the impact of total payroll on frequency. And these frequency results are easier to compare to the 4% severity increase that Donna talked about for the latest year. And this frequency change more than offsets it. Ultimately, this will push loss costs per payroll down, even if not on a per premium basis.
That's why frequency matters. Frequency more than offsets severity, pushing loss ratios and loss costs down over time. Let's look at each component a little bit further, beginning with claim counts first. So given that result on the previous slide, we'd expect claim counts, or the number of workplace accidents, to be decreasing over time. And that's what we see here. Claim counts have decreased by 20% over this period. Interestingly, employment has also been increasing over time, with more jobs being added both nationally and in NCCI states. More jobs, more workers in the economy. But here's the really important point. Even though we're seeing more jobs, more workers year over year, at the same time, we're seeing less and less workplace accidents. In other words, this implies that frequency on a per worker basis continues to decline.
I see that as a sign that jobs continue to be safer, in part by the growing role of automation in workplace safety, right?
Yeah, you're half right. We also need to think about premium.